But in the meantime, we're going to get into game number 4, Purple versus Kaldi. Purple's going to need 2 straight if he wants to win this match.
Yeah, it's going to be look to see what he's going to be doing. He's going to be going back to Freeze Mage, and Kaldi playing one of my favorite decks here, and it looks like Zoo.
Yeah, I love that Kaldi's been turning up the heat on Purple, forcing him to have the right answers to the right kinds of cards. I mean, this is a very big point for him. Even Acidic Swamp, who's in this deck, kind of a nod to the fact that Purple's been playing a lot of Hunter and always dangerous with Rogue.
Absolutely, and you know what? I love the queue ups from Kaldi so far here in this match. Feel that he really did his homework, really came prepared for this match.
Yeah, Coin Mad Scientist, though, this is a nightmare start as far as Kaldi is concerned. You know, if he wants to play this Knife Juggler, he has to trade in the Flame Imp, so I think he's going to end up going with Acidic Swampoo's here. He's going to go with Knife Juggler instead. I'm a little surprised by that because Acidic Swampoo's is useless in this match, so getting a 3-2 on board I think is totally fine.
You know, you might be worried about Purple having something like Blingtron 3000.
I'm sure that's in the back of his head right
unstable
now.
portal into Blingtron, it could happen.
It definitely could happen. It's a wild imagination that Tannen has.
Yeah.
Usually I'm the one who's saying stuff like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's usually the other way around. You're the one known for it.
Yeah, I think I like pushing for damage here and adding Acidic Swampoos to the board. You know, don't trade with Purple. Let him have the ability to draw one of those extra secrets.
Yeah, absolutely. Make him draw another card here. I love that. You know, we already see one Ice Block in his hand. If you were to draw another secret here, it would be disastrous.
Yeah, yep, this is the play he's going to go with, and that's extra 3 points of damage.
Yeah, I love this play from
the
Kaldi.
bag. Alex Straza added to hand. That's probably one of the last cards he wanted to see right now. But Loot Hoarder's going to help fight against this. You know, if Kaldi picks up a 1-drop, this could be a difference here. Was considering Doomsayer, though. I actually wouldn't have minded Doomsayer that much on this board either. You know, would take a little bit of initiative away from Kaldi, but such an important turn in this deck is being able to Frost Nova and add Doomsayer with it.
Yeah, I would have liked seeing Doomsayer if he had something like Acolyte of Pain. He just wants to make sure that he's not facing down a ton of damage going into that turn. But with him having his hand the way it does,
you can see Purple tense
like, please don't have a 1-drop. Yeah, it's just like,
I love seeing the pressure when people get into situations that even could potentially be dangerous. Not even that something's happened yet, just the anticipation of it.
If you're Kaldi, do you trade here?
Oh, I think so. Absolutely. The last thing you want to do is have your Knife Juggler get picked off in a scenario. But you know, the fact that he's got Implosion in his hand, maybe he's not too concerned with that. Maybe he just pushes for damage.
I think it's going to be a sweet turn. We get to see the Implosion happen with the Knife Juggler on a Doomsayer.
It's a tense one there. Yeah. Every single juggle ended up mattering so much. Also what you're rolling. If you roll a 2, you have to land both juggles to take it out with just the Knife Juggler. Probably really going to take his time here. This is kind of tough, honestly.
You just have to trade, though.
How important is the 3 damage? Obviously, it's very important. But how important is protecting your Knife Juggler?
Yeah, I think you just have to trade here because like the Knife Juggler being on board is just such a big threat going forward. Emperor Thaurissan picked up here for Purple. That's a pretty good one going forward.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be patient, ping Knife Juggler. If Kaldi picks up something like Defender of Argus, I think it'd be a great draw for him. It's gonna set Purple a little bit behind.
It's a really good one here. Gonna take away what Purple's planning to do next turn.
Yeah, he wanted to just ping it again, but no dice, says Kaldi. 4 points of damage going upstairs. Antique Healbot even picked up. At this point, he's gonna fireball this Knife Juggler.
Yeah, I actually like playing this fireball here. It's just gonna make Kaldi continue to put pressure onto him on the board. He's gonna have to keep applying more minions to the board to apply pressure here, which you're gonna see Kaldi's actually gonna have a hard time doing going forward. So
it's looking rough.
Yeah, it's gonna play into what Purple has coming up a little bit more. He just needs to alleviate himself as much as possible because he wants to be able to turn 6 this Emperor Thaurissan.
Now that Purple see this kind of start be so slow, what does he anticipate that Kaldi's hand in this situation?
Well, you have to believe there's something like Dr. Booms, or, you know, just a lot of his big end, maybe some of his charge minions, stuff like that. He probably thinks there's something like Implosion, Power of Overwhelming, a lot of the hand that, like, Kaldi actually has right now.
And Ruby and Agate's picked up.
Great pickup here in this matchup, actually.
He's going to be able to add a 4/4 to board if he doesn't take care of the Doomsayer. But going to be patient and think through every single one of his plays. This is a very critical turn for Kaldi right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I fully expect to see Kaldi just draw a card and play the Nerubian Egg here, but you...
We drew a second Nerubian Egg.
Yeah, that would be actually really good for him. But Nerubian Egg actually pretty good in this matchup. It allows you to have a minion that sits on board and, you know, gets a lot of value off the sweeper. If he wants, he could add this. Yeah,
you know what? Haunted Creeper's not a bad one here. This will put 2 1/1s on the board. Every single point of damage really matters. Purple raising an eyebrow. That one. I mean, this is just, it has to be Emperor Thaurissan. What else can you play this turn?
You could do some tricks with Blood Mage Thanos and Frostbolt.
You could do some tricks, but you could also play Emperor Thaurissan.
Yeah.
Going to take a lot of mana out of this hand right now. And Kaldi, he's got to get something rolling here. Does have the minions on board to do it.
Yeah, it's just so important to get this Emperor going here for the Freeze Mage deck. It's what made this deck a lot more playable and a lot better after that card came out.
Yeah, I mean, just unlocked worlds of new potential for for this deck. Before, it was always restricted into playing a long game, but Emperor Thorson puts a ton of pressure on people.
Yeah, we actually saw Purple do it earlier in the match where he killed him on, I think, turn 8 or 9 with only 8 or 9 mana. You know, he didn't have to do these turn 10s where he's like, Alexstrasza you, Frostbolt you, untap, like, you know, go to your next turn and do some fireballs and stuff like that. You know, he got to actually just go off with it because of all the extra mana that he had.
Yeah, because not only is the Emperor giving him extra mana, but it's also a 5/5 body. I mean, you have to take care. You can't just keep taking 5 damage every single turn.
Yeah, you definitely can't. I mean, like, that's the problem. We've talked about this with Emperor Thorson. Sometimes it has pseudo taunt. You don't want to just leave it around when you want to push for damage. It puts you in such a weird, awkward spot. I hate playing against this card, Nathan. If you haven't,
I think everyone hates playing against it.
You can hear it in my voice.
Yeah, Blizzard gets drawn for purple, and this is just looking. Just looks better and better for him every single step of the way. Blood Mage's just going to be added to try to get some extra damage. I'm sorry, to try to get some extra cards going. And Dr. Boom's got to make him a little bit nervous. I mean, it's just so much damage. And Kaldi continues to pick up great cards to add to this board. So much resilient pressure from Kaldi.
Yeah, that's what I like about this deck from the Zoo deck side. It's a little bit slower than the other aggro decks, and it doesn't go as big as some of the mid-range and control decks, but you're just so resilient and you scale so well at all these games, and it's really hard to deal with something like Void Caller after Void Caller, you know, into Dr. Boom and all these things, and then Defender of Argus is amazing in this deck.
Yeah, purple has a lot of pressure facing down. This Boombot could be disastrous. Takes out Antique Healbot. That's a very good roll for Kaldi.
Purple's starting to get into a hairy situation here. He's going to have to start doing stuff like blizzarding very, very soon. He can't let this Ice Block get taken care of too early for him. He needs to start setting up just a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Blizzard here. And
he's going to get
this
Mad
Scientist.
Yeah, he needs to get this Mad Scientist into play. He needs to get his ice barriers into play as soon as possible. And you also don't want to draw them either if you can get them out of your deck.
Yeah, there's no freeze effects left for purple, though. So if Kaldi rolls it this next turn safe, it's looking really bad for purple at that point. Implosion's going to be able to add pressure to this board as well. Purple's going to, he's almost like a sitting duck right now. I mean, short of Flame Strike, how does he take care of everything?
Yeah, I mean, he has a couple cards he can draw. He does have these double Frostbolts that are going on, so he can buy himself some more time against the, you know, the Dr. Boom. He can use a Frostbolt plus a hero power to take care of Defender of Argus and the Void Caller as well. So he can kind of deal with what Kaldi's got going in play right now, but the problem is that it takes a ton of his resources away and a ton of his ways to win away going forward. But you do what you got to do in these matchups.
Yeah, I fully expect him, I think, to just go for Alexstrasza next turn. You know, he's looking like he's got a couple turns left to draw a Fireball.
Just try to win.
Yeah, I mean, Ice Lance would do it too. He would have more than enough mana to take care of it afterwards. And in the meantime, going to sit behind his Ice Blocks and hope that this is enough to get it done.
Yeah, that's actually very possible. You may just see him Alexstrasza this turn and then try to go off with Frostbolts and Ice Lance next turn, because he does have the Ice Block, as you said. He gets a couple draws, and Kaldi has to answer the Alexstrasza as well.
Yeah, I mean, something else that Purple has to be thinking about, though, is what if Mal'Ganis comes out of one of these Void Callers?
Yeah, that is actually a big deal, but the thing is, it doesn't matter if it comes out of the Void Caller or not, because if Kaldi has it in his hand, he's going to be able to just play it as well. So he can't really play around that. I think you have to play to win from this spot here instead of playing not to lose.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't really see any way to play around Mal'Ganis in the spot. And you're going to hold on to his burn, you know, just in case something like that happens. But Kaldi, plenty of options for how to take care of this. This Ice Block's getting popped this turn.
Yeah, he's got a couple different ways to do this as well. He can use a Power Overwhelming to help take care of this Alexstrasza, because again, I don't know if you can leave it in play. It's kind of scary to leave an 8/8 minion on this side of the board, but you can actually just maybe ignore it here since you have 2 Taunters. You're not super worried about taking 8 damage from it, but if you were to have something like Flame Strike into the other Ice Block, that is disastrous for you.
Yeah, I don't think this is a position where Kaldi can life tap either. You know, every single point
No,
of
you
life,
definitely can't life tap.
Every single point of life is so crucial, and the fact that that's been shut off now, you know, I think that's something that Purple was trying to get Kaldi to do, is life tap, because that's why he didn't reveal that damage. And Kaldi doesn't pick up a way to protect himself in this position. 11-12, I don't know if Kaldi can actually win this game anymore.
Yeah, it's very possible that life tap might come back to haunt him here. Purple is picking up a couple extra outs here.
And he's got to do something now. Power Overwhelming going to be the first step. Oh, he's got to act fast. He's running out of time. Looks like he wants to get this Ice Block popped first and trying to find the best way to do it. He's found that, and he's going to sit behind taunts now and hope that there's no way that Purple can kill him. And this is really all he can do at this point, is hope and pray that everything goes his way. Purple needs 1 point of damage to end this game, but you know, being able to sit behind the other Ice Block and set Kaldi at 1, he's got to feel good about it, and he even draws Frost Nova to add to that. Gonna take his time still.
No, Ice Lance is still lethal from here
Maybe.
as well.
Oh,
he picks up the Fireball. This Frost
yeah,
Nova is going
this
to get him there.
This is looking really bad for Kaldi at this point. Ice block set behind.
There are no ways that Kaldi can win
Keys
from
and
here.
Mystic would
Yeah,
be
short of Keys and Mystic.
that would be a pretty good one. But he's got one more draw to do it, and that's if it's in his deck, which I do not believe that it is right now. And Purple's got a fistful of damage. How?
Well, here's the thing. Do you even life tap here? Like, do you run the risk of what if he, just has something like Fireball? Well, if he has Fireball, then you're dead. What if he just has Fireball, Frostbolt? Like, do you play around that?
That's 10 points of damage.
Well, I guess you get a life tap against that.
Yeah,
Is there a hand that he could have that life tapping matters against?
Frostbolt, Ice Lance.
Yeah.
That's about the best one. Kaldi finds no action to do this, and Purple going to tie this series up at 2 game apiece and send this one to game number 5.
You got to believe there's a chance he just queues this one up again.
You've been having such good success with it so far. I mean, that's something I always want to see is when players are winning with decks, why change that?
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that here in HPL. There are no shackles here, so you can play literally whatever you want, whenever you want, and players are taking full advantage of that, and that's great, but sometimes they may go a little overboard with it.
Yeah, I mean, now the fact that he has queued up Freeze Mage twice now, and that's been both of his wins, is Kaldi going to throw in something like Keys and Mystic? Is this an opportunity for Purple to just have his build be a little bit off?
Yeah, there is a chance for something like that to happen, but you have to worry that, if you do something like that, Purple's been switching it up. He hasn't played the same deck twice in a row yet, and he switches it up on you, and you just have this Keys and Mystic in your deck, and he's like playing a deck that doesn't have it again, then yeah, you might just lose from there. You might draw this Keys and Mystic and it doesn't actually do anything.
Adding a little bit of flair to the end.
Yeah, a little bit of fun with Kaldi here.
So much damage. This deck so well built to tackle these aggressive strategies that Kaldi's throwing at him. Purple, he's on even footing right now. This going to a 5th and final deciding game. I mean, what a series between these two. It's been trading games back and forth. We've seen them swapping up their strategies, fighting for every single edge that they can get. Where do they go from here?
I'm not even sure where they go from here. Is Purple going to queue up Freeze Mage again? It's been getting him both his wins here in this match. You got to believe he's at least thinking about it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But one of these players is going to have to fix it. And if you guys want to check out the recap for yourself, you can head over to pvplive.net and see the full stats breakdowns from this game, how they played their strategies, what they've played in the past. Maybe that will give a little insight into what they're going to do in game number 5 here. But this is such an important match. Both of these players need wins on the board because as we move closer to that ending point in the season, that top 8 spot is what everybody wants. And when we come back, after they're done making changes to their deck, we're going to have a 5th and final deciding game. Don't go anywhere, guys. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.